Hey everybody, how the hell are you? Eagle here, the vengeful one. And you know, there's a holiday in Japan this week, so the manga, they're not here. So in lieu of the manga, of the One Piece, I want to bring a discussion. I want to talk about why I think Sanji is definitely still on the level of the monster trio, and more so Zoro specifically, and moreover, why I believe he had the best time skip growth out of any of the three of the monster trio. And I'll tell you why. The reason why, first off, let me start by saying a lot of people like to just say that recently Sanji's been taking a lot of heat because he didn't get a lot of battle feats in Whole Cake Island, but I don't see why that's a big deal because it wasn't the point. There wasn't really to fight, but he did get battle feats. He blitzed Oven faster than the eye can perceive. Oven still doesn't know who kicked him in the neck. Straight up. Oven don't know. And it was more so about making the cake and that kind of feat, his chef. And because of that, people think that he's going to start to take more so just that role. He's going to fall out of the Monster Trio role and become, just the chef. But I'd like to remind everybody that his official title when we were introduced to him was a fighting cook of the Baratie. Okay, he's no hoe. All right, he's not just a cook. He's black leg. All right, he's black leg Kurowashi Sanji. He's not going out like that. And people like to say Zoro is leagues stronger than him at this point because Zoro's been coasting everybody so far post time skip, but I believe it's been set up that way, and I'll explain why. People like to give Zoro a lot of credit for beating up on Hody in Fishman Island, but Hody Jones was a bitch. Hody Jones was literally, the whole point of that arc was to show how much they had grown over the time skip and how they were all just coasting their enemies. There was no Zoro beating up on Hody is not, you can't take that example and say that, he's beast because he was beating up on the main villain of an arc when the main villain of that arc was the fucking Noah. Hody Jones was not a threat, literally. Like, the whole point of the enemies in that arc was just to show how far they'd come and how they could just coast them. So, I believe Sanji's fights against Virgo, who I believe was the main fighting villain of Punk Hazard, like, as far as, like, a threat. Like, Caesar's dangerous, but he was more so of a joke. Luffy fought him. It was more so just to capture him, not really beat him. I feel like Virgo was the main fighting force. And I feel like Doflamingo was the main fighting force of Dressrosa. And I feel like Sanji's confrontations with those two are a more accurate representation of where Zoro and Sanji lie as far as the main villains of the New World go. They're acknowledged as strong, but they still aren't quite there. Because this Hody, like, I just don't, people give way too much credit to Zoro for beating up on Hody. I mean, it was underwater and it wasn't a fishman, but like at the same time, none of the enemies in that arc were really a threat. The whole point was to show how they could coast them because they'd come so far over their training. And so yeah, I mean, Virgo, it took Law's ability on like the highest scale we've seen it to beat Virgo. Literally had to use an ability to cut through his there's no evidence to say that Zoro's haki would have cut through Virgo's haki because Law had to use an ability to cut Virgo that literally manipulates matter. Like, there's nothing to say. And going further into it, I'll express why I believe Sanji had the best growth over the time skip. Luffy trained on Ruskaina with Rayleigh, the right-hand man of the King of the Pirates. Taught him about hockey, taught him all the shit he needs to know, and then left him alone for the last 6 months of the 2 years to kind of refine his technique and take it his own direction. Zoro spent 2 years training with Mihawk, the strongest swordsman in the world that we've been introduced to. Taught him all about hockey, how to code his blade, how to fight. You know, the baboons that, you know, one of them had mimicked Mihawk's style, and then sent him off with that knowledge. These are two of the top tier characters in the verse that we've been introduced to that trained these two characters. And they learned hockey and advanced their own abilities as far as their own techniques go. Now let's go into Sanji's time skip. He was taken to Kamabaka. People like to say that he trained with Ivankov, but no. He wanted nothing to do with Ivankov. He spent the entire time either running away from the Kamabaka or fighting one of the 99 Kamabaka super chefs that were holding the recipes to the 99 Kamabaka Kenpo recipes that he got, and he got all of them. So he spent the whole time skip either running away from them or fighting these people, which means that he had nobody to train him. He did it all himself, and he learned hockey. He advanced his own ability. He learned blue walk. He learned Rokushiki techniques, skywalk. He learned blue walk, and I guarantee you, he's got what is that? I was just watching it. The Tempest Kick. I can't remember the Japanese pronunciation of it, but I guarantee you he's probably, I mean, I can't guarantee, but I bet he's got that Tempest Kick coming up. That, it's not Roku Ogun, that's the shotgun. It's, that doesn't matter. So, he spent the entire 2 years himself, training himself. He had nobody to train him. He had no top tier verse character to train him. And he still came as far as they did, as far as learning hockey and advancing their own abilities and learning new stuff. So that in and of itself goes to show you how good this man is. He didn't need anybody to train him how to do hockey. He learned it his damn self. He came up and he beat the 99 Kenpo Kamabaka butch women to get the recipes, to feed his crew the right stuff, to get them nutritionally right. Man, people, y'all gotta start appreciating Sanji, because this dude, Sanji is the guy, man. And that's not to say Zoro's not the guy. Zoro is definitely the guy. But they have always been represented as kind of equals, and moreover than that, I feel like they kind of take on roles that the other one could not, if you know what I mean. Like, they're both battlers, but Sanji's more the thinker, Zoro's more the head-on. They take on roles that really the other one, I feel, couldn't take on. Kind of like how I feel like Usopp has had like the most pivotal roles in a lot of the arcs, and if not for Usopp and the roles he's played, this people could have died. You know, the series could be over by now, if not for Usopp. But that's a different topic. Sanji and Zoro have always been represented as equals. I was looking yesterday, but I was having trouble finding it. But I do feel like I recall at some point dialogue from one of them about the other one, about how they are the two pillars of the crew, because Luffy is so goofy and he just runs around doing whatever he wants, that these two really have to hold it down and trust each other to be kind of the vanguard and the pillars of the Straw Hat crew, that when the serious threats come forward, they really step up and deal with the shit. And Zoro and Sanji and Luffy are definitely all, relatively on the same level. Still, people sleep on Sanji, and I feel like he's definitely going to surprise some folks in Wano. And also something I'd really like to see in Wano that I've been talking to some of my boys about for a while, a moment that I'd like to see between the two of them, because I know they have respect, immense respect for one another, and they consider each other rivals, kind of like a brotherhood type of deal. Zoro on Zo was talking that good shit about Sanji, talking about, oh, leave him. We don't need him. He's an idiot. They have never, if I'm recalling correctly, and I've looked back to check this too, in the series, I don't know if they've ever, referred to each other as their actual names. They always call each other either Mosshead or Dartboard Brow or some stupid shit like that. So, in Wano, I would like to see when the whole crew gets back together, everybody's meeting up, hyping over Sanji being back. Zoro's going to be sitting in the background. Just like everybody's going to be, yelling and yelling and yelling, and all of a sudden you'll hear Sanji from Zoro, and everybody's going to fall silent because they won't know what to say because Zoro's never called him by his name. And then he'll say something about, if you ever try and take on a burden like that by yourself again without us, I'll come kill you myself, or some shit like that. He's going to say something with some weight. He's got to. Because I know they got some immense respect for each other, and it can't just be left like that with Zoro talking that kind of shit about Sanji on Zo. Because I know it's different. I know. That being said, this was my kind of rambling / discussion about why I think Sanji is definitely still on the level of Zoro and Luffy, and moreover had pound for pound better growth over the time skip because he had nobody to show him what to do. He had nobody to tell him how. He just taught himself. So, and how, briefly at the end about the respect Zoro and Sanji have for each other. So that being said, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did, like, comment, subscribe if you feel like it. I'll see you next time. All right, see you.